Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. Today I will show you how to use IntelliJ to find out the issues in your code, how to use IntelliJ to fix those issues, and how to avoid those issues. If you are learning programming for the first time, if you are new to IntelliJ, new to programming, you might face a lot of issues when you try to write code. So in this video I will show you all the ways of fixing and finding those issues. For example, one common issue that I see a lot of students make is that they don't realize that Java is case sensitive. For example, if I have created a variable my box like this, now everywhere if I want to reuse this box, reuse this variable, I must type it exactly the same. However, if I am doing something like this, if I'm using my box with lowercase b, this variable, this name is a totally different thing for Java than this one. Java treats this variable as a totally different thing because Java is case sensitive. It will only work if we use an uppercase b here. If we are not keeping track of the case, if we are not following the exact name, we will not be able to run our code. Now let's say for example you have encountered this issue and now you want to use IntelliJ. You want the IntelliJ to tell you where the issue is. For example, if I try to run this code will not work and I will get an issue. Now I can use a lot of features from IntelliJ to figure out what I am doing wrong. And let's say for example you ran this code and you got this issue. So you should not be panicked. Let's use IntelliJ. The first thing that you should do, so whenever you will be having an issue in your project, IntelliJ will give you some indications. For example, IntelliJ changes the color of this text. That means if something is red inside this editor window, this area is called editor window, if something is red here, that means it's a problem. Something is not fine, something is wrong. So first IntelliJ will change the color of those variables or those commands that you will be writing. IntelliJ will also give you this red line below your file name. It will also give you this red line below your file name here under SRC, under Java Basics, and it will also give you this small red line here to tell you that there is a problem here. So you can use this red line from here to find out where the issue is. You can use these red lines here. For example, if I create another file here, and if there are no issues in that file, check this out. IntelliJ does not make this file red. It only makes the file red which have errors. So this is how we find out about the errors. Let's say you are still unable to find it. So what you can do, you can run that code and you can take the help from this console. This area here, it is called console. Now if we focus, I see this blue color here. This first text, it's a path of the file that has the issue. It's saying that there is a file inside SRC, it is called main.java. Inside that you have a line number 7, and on that line number 7 there are multiple characters. The character number 28 is the character from where the problem starts. So if I go inside my file, I see I have these numbers, line numbers 1 2 3 till 10, and I have this line number 7. I found this from here. So if I go to line number and if I count the characters, you will see these are 28 characters exactly. And if I look after the character number 29, this is where the problem is. So we can figure out exact line numbers with the help of IntelliJ which are causing the problem. Let's say you are still unable to find, or if you have lot of files, a lot of packages, and it is taking time. IntelliJ is very smart. You just need to click on this blue line. Let's say if I'm in a different file and I don't know where the error is, simply click on this blue area. It will automatically take you to that file number, and it will put your cursor right before the character from where the error starts. Check this out. I'm in a different file. This is where my cursor is. The moment I click on this blue area, it takes me to the main file. This is my main, and it puts my cursor right here before where the error is. So this is how we locate the error. If we have located the error, you might still not be able to figure out what you are doing wrong. So IntelliJ will help you with that as well. So for that, we need to read these errors. So it says Java cannot find the symbol. Which symbol? The symbol is variable. It's a variable. It is telling you the problem, the thing that is causing a problem. It's a variable, and the name of that variable is my box. So cannot find symbol. Which symbol? The symbol is a variable and its name is my box. And where is that? It is present inside the main class. So if we go here and if we hover our mouse over, this is again another feature of IntelliJ. So this is how to pinpoint your exact location of the error. This is how to fix your error, or what is your error, explanation about your error. Let's say you can still not figure, you can still not, you are unable to still figure out what is the error. IntelliJ will also now help you fix those errors with you. So IntelliJ tells you where the error is, what the error is, and how to resolve that error. To make this work, you need to hover your mouse over the red area which is causing the problem, and then you need to click on this more options. So IntelliJ says, hey Asghar, you have a problem in your Java code, and if you want to fix that error, I have 4 solutions for you. Either you can create a new variable and you can call it my box, because you are trying to use a variable which is not defined. Java is case sensitive. For Java, my box with lowercase b is a different thing, my box with uppercase thing is a different thing. So one solution to this problem is that you create a new variable. If we click on that, it will allow us to choose the data type. For example, I want to have int, then it will rename your it will put the exact same variable name, and then you can start using it. This is the first solution that IntelliJ has suggested. Let's say this is not the solution that you are looking for, so we don't need to worry. IntelliJ suggested us 3 other solutions. Let's go back, hover the mouse, click on more options, and you see it says create field my box in main, create parameter my box, and the last one is rename reference. So IntelliJ can sense this, that there is only one variable in your program, in your class, and maybe you are trying to use that variable. So IntelliJ says if you want to use that variable, you need to rename it. If I click on that, that's it. Hit enter, and it has fixed my issue. IntelliJ sensed this, that there is only one variable and you might be trying to use that variable here. I run my code, I see the results. So always these are the steps that you should follow if you are having issues. First, find out the lines which are causing these issues. How? Check for those indications. Check for these indications. For example, the best way is to run your code, and if you have any issues, IntelliJ will tell you the exact line number and it will take you to that line number. So I ran my code, I have some issues, IntelliJ telling me this is the location. I click on it. Next is how to fix this issue. Hover your mouse over that error, click on more options, and you can start applying the solutions. Whichever solution you find that this is the best fit, you can apply that solution. Let's say those are also not helpful. Read these errors and you can fix your issues. For example, I remove this semicolon. This is another very common issue that very common mistake that students make. Again, even I don't even need to run my code. I just need to hover my mouse over the error, over the red line, and it will tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. IntelliJ says, Askar, Java is expecting a semicolon here. This is the issue, and it gives you two solutions. You can insert return or you can insert semicolon. So my issue is fixed by applying the solution number 2. Let's say I miss a bracket here. Again, a very common issue. Again, I get this red line here. If I hover my mouse over the red line, it says Java is expecting a bracket. There are two opening curly brackets. As per Java rules, you must also have two closing brackets. Okay, so I can click over this error and then I can apply that solution. Sorry. Okay, for here it is not giving us that solution, but what I can also do, I can run this and it will give me reached end of file while parsing. If you are getting this issue, it means you are missing a bracket. You go hover your mouse, it says expected a bracket, and the moment you put the bracket, the issue is resolved. So now I will show you some common issues which students are facing. First, Java is case sensitive. If you are declaring the variable, if you are giving it a name, you must use exact same name with exact same letters. If they are in uppercase, you should use in uppercase. If lowercase, in lowercase. Java is case sensitive. Another issue is that a lot of students, they miss semicolon. So we should always end all the lines inside Java with semicolon. It's just like English. Like in English, we end all the sentences with a period sign. IntelliJ Java requires you to end all the statements with semicolon. Another common issue, students, they try to mismatch the brackets. Two opening brackets, only one closing bracket. Another issue. And then some of the students, they make this issue, they face this issue that they try to create this main method outside of the class. This is again a very big issue, because remember, main is a door. It's like a main door, and you need to place this main door properly inside the building. Let's imagine this is your building, so it must be inside it. It cannot be outside it. Another very common issue is that students try to mismatch the data type. For example, if they have a variable name and which is of type string, I cannot store numbers here. It's a mismatch. I'm saying here, IntelliJ Java, give me a variable in which I will be storing strings, but when but what I am actually doing is I'm storing a number. So if I hover my mouse again, IntelliJ will help me. IntelliJ says the required type of data is string, but you are providing an integer. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. So I again see a couple of solutions which you can try to apply. You can change the data type of variable. You can change the variable type to integer. This is a solution. Change the variable type. Issue resolved. But let's say you actually wanted to store number 10. That means you must put that number 10 inside the double quotes. Every time you have a string variable, the things that you will be storing inside that box, they must be inside double quotes. Similarly, if I have an integer variable, age, I cannot store things with double quotes. Again I will get an error because it's a mismatch. I cannot store a string inside a number. It's a mismatch. So again I will get an error. And I can also take the help from IntelliJ. IntelliJ, I hover my mouse, it says you should be storing integers inside this variable, but you are actually storing strings. So again I can click here more options and I can apply different solutions. And also again, let's say you still don't know how to fix it, run this, it will give you more information. For example, it will tell you the exact line number of the error, and then it will give you an explanation. It says incompatible types, Java's string cannot be converted to an integer, which means this string, Java is saying I cannot convert this to a number and then store that number in here. I don't know how I convert k to a number. So here you need to fix your issues yourself by storing proper data inside the proper variables. One more common issue which is very frustrating is that in IntelliJ, if you have some issues, let's say for example I have some issues here, I have a typo, I did not specify the data type at all, and I'm trying to create a box. This is not possible. Every time you want to create a variable, you must specify its data type, the type of data that you will be storing in that. So what happens is that students, they have issues in other files, and they keep on creating new files, and even though they have perfectly fine code in a newly created file, this will not work. Even though this file does not contain any issues, the moment you try to run this, IntelliJ will take you to the file that contains the error, and it will put your cursor right before that error. Now it is again, it's perfectly fine if you are still unable to resolve your issues. Let's say you are following a class and you cannot wait, you do not have the time to fix it. One solution that you can apply is you can comment out the complete code inside that class. Just select this code and press Ctrl Shift and /, and it will comment out this complete code. Now you can go back to your file and you can run it. So if you are following a class and you don't want to waste time fixing your issues, what you can do, you can go in other files. And how do you know which files contain errors? They will have this red line. Go inside those files and comment out the code for the time being. Maybe after the class you want to solve those issues. Another way of solving these issues is, let's say for example you have packages, multiple packages, and then there are multiple classes inside those packages. Give me one moment. I have already excluded these files, so let me remove them. Don't worry about this step, the thing that I have just done. You will understand what I have just done. So let's say I move this inside under the class 1. I have a package in which I have multiple classes, and I don't know, maybe all of them, they have some kind of issues, right? I'm intentionally introducing issues. Now if you have multiple classes inside a package, and if all of them, they contain some kind of issues, it might again take a lot of time to fix those issues, or to just to comment out those classes. So what you can do in this case, you can tell IntelliJ that, hey IntelliJ, if there are any issues in this class 1, I don't want to care about those issues for the time being. I want to run this variables demo. Here the code looks perfectly fine. Don't take me to the files which contain error. I want to fix them later. For the time being, ignore them. So what you can do, you can double click the shift button twice on your keyboard, and you can type excludes. and once you see this option, the first one, hit enter, and here you can specify the path to your files which you want IntelliJ to ignore. IntelliJ will not check for any errors inside those files. Just click on this plus sign, and now you need to locate, you need to have this information where your project is stored. So first let me tell you how to find out where your project is stored on your computer. If I expand this window, this is where the project is stored. This project is stored on desktop, Bloom, Unit 1, Module 1, Sprint 1, Java Basics. So if I want to ignore these packages, I need to go to that location. So again, double click, shift button twice, excludes, and then I can click on the plus sign. Now I know where my project is stored. How? From this path, I go to desktop, then I go to Bloom, then the Unit 1, then the module, then the Sprint, and then I can see I have Java Basics. This exact same name here, and then I have a src folder and I have a package class 1. So just select the package that you want to ignore and click on open. Click apply and open. Now you will notice that there is a cross sign on the package name, this icon, and then on the all of the file names. And now if you try to execute variables demo again, IntelliJ will not check any of the files inside class 1 for errors, and you will be able to run your code. We have told IntelliJ to ignore everything inside class 1, to exclude it from compiling for error checking. And now I can just run any file. So if there are multiple classes inside a package which are all causing issue, you can exclude all of them at once. And later on, once you have time, you can again double click, shift button twice, type excludes, remove this path from here, select the path, click on minus sign, apply, okay. Now these errors, they will appear again. For example, if I try to run it, I will not be able to run it now, and then you can go and fix those errors later on whenever you have time. This is called excluding files or packages from being compiling. You can select individual files, you can select complete packages as well. So if you are having issues and if you are unable to follow instructor, you don't know how to fix those issues, you can comment out the complete class, or you can exclude those files or packages from being compiling. This is very useful, especially when you are in a live class and you are unable to follow the instructor because of these issues. Very, very important. Now there are some other common issues that I have noticed. For example, students, they try to write code without the main method. If I do that, some of the times the code might work. For example, I can declare a variable outside of the main method, but if I try to run it, or even if I try to write sout, it will not work. Sout only works if we are inside a method. So if you want to run the code inside a class, you must have the main method first. Then one more common issue is that students, they try to, for example, store more than the capacity of a variable. For example, byte can only hold up to 127, but if I try to put 148, 145, and if I run it again, it will give me an error. Oh, you see, again it has taken me to the other file. So I need to fix these issues first. How I can fix it? I click on this bulb, and then I say create local variable field in main or main method or something like this, or I can put the integer back here. Let's fix the issues inside the byte as well. So it's beyond the capacity of a byte to hold the number 145. So IntelliJ will say possible lossy conversion from int to byte, which means that we cannot fit 145 inside a byte. Maybe you should use an integer. So again, a very common issue. Don't try to go beyond the limits of the variables. Another issue that I saw is that students were only typing the opening part to comment out something. They were not doing the ending part. Remember, multi-line comments, you have to write a forward slash, a star, and then you also have to write another star and a backward slash. This is the complete syntax for writing multi-line comments. Now I will not get error. So please make sure that you are specifying the end as well. And in IntelliJ it's very easy. Just type the start, put your cursor here, hit enter, and it will do the ending part automatically for you like this. So now I hope these things they will be very helpful. You will try to figure out your issues with the help of IntelliJ. You will be able to figure out the exact line of numbers. IntelliJ, so you will be able to apply the solutions from IntelliJ. But still, if you face issues and you are unable to follow someone, exclude those classes from being compiling, and then you can follow the instructors, and after the class is done, you can figure out your issues. I hope this video was helpful, and you guys will be able to fix at least some of your issues. See you. Bye bye. Take care.